toward right not far from Parker's Ferry there on 17 South, almost dancing right along the Edisto River. So, and you can see I put a square around that area. That could be the couplet there that we're looking at. This is the Edisto River right there. You see the Edisto River. So this is kind of dancing right along the Edisto River. As we zoom on out just a little bit, let me show you the path of the storm again. You know, it's northeast motion at about 15 miles an hour. It looks like this. There it is. And again, at Gettysville at about 6:09. That's the current track there as it moves up in that direction. And again, there's only one out there right now. That's the one. So again, if you are in the path of the storm, you want to take those tornado precautions right now as we take a look and track that. Once again, the warning area has been extended until 6:15, and that's all the way up here toward, say, the parts of Dorchester and western Charleston County. And that includes 165 Delmar Crossroads, Warren Crossroads, all the way back pretty much down not far from Cross County Road. Again, kind of pushing on up into that part of Dorchester County. And again, you can see the tremendous amount of lightning with this storm. And there's not, you know, except for that one, and we pulled out, I didn't see any other rotating storms out there. But this one is got a lot of lightning strikes, about 36 here in the last 15 minutes or so in that one area. This is the Jacksonboro area we were just talking about. And if you want to pull up the velocity real quick, Danielle, that's the rainfall rate. Again, you can see just how much rainfall rate it is with the warning area. And again, the velocity will show us exactly where that center of that system is. On right there, just to the right of that. Anyway, you can see we'll go back to the other. In fact, I'll back out here just a second, kind of just to show you where that is. It's the velocity is right here. So again, that's what it looks like where the actual system is. And it's a little bit slow right now for us because we're doing so much with it so fast. But yeah, there it is right there. That area right there. You can use those right there, Danielle, and they will help us kind of show the story. And again, you can see it right there. That's where we're seeing the couplet, and that's where we're seeing some of the rotation. And there's not, you know, as far as folks out there, you need to just definitely be in your safe place. In particular, as this pushes off to the northeast at about 15 miles an hour. Again, looking at that warning, we can track that, to the northeast at about 15. Again, the warning area continues now up into parts of central Dorchester County and western parts of Charleston County. And again, down here, 17 South, toward the northeast at about 15 miles an hour. And this continues to change, by the way. So we're kind of fine-tuning this, continuing to change it by watching the radar. And as we watch the radar, we can track the motion of this tornado that may or may not be on the ground. Is definitely radar indicated. In other words, that's what we see it on radar. So the warning was issued by the National Weather Service just a little while ago. And again, the signature here, if you want to zoom out just a little bit, you can see that signature right there. We're looking for the inbound, outbound winds, and the couplet here showing some rotation. That's where the rotation would be. Again, the red area is underneath the radar right there, but that's why that area is under the tornado warning. So again, as we watch this, that's the only rotating storm out there. Here's Walterboro right there. This is the rainfall associated with that. Some of the rainfall rates at about 4 inches an hour. And again, it's now pushed on up into just on the other side of right here, just on the other side of Parker's Ferry, moving up here, right along the banks right here of the Edisto River. So again, we continue to kind of keep an eye on this one track of this one storm. And as we continue to kind of pull it out, this is kind of an elongated area of rain with the actual couplet right down about there, pushing northeast. Go ahead and pull that velocity up one more time for us, Danielle, and see if we can't take another look at that. You can just clear that layer just by touching the bar. And again, as you take a peek right there, this is moving right here, just on the other side of the 17 split down to 64. There's 64 right there, 64 split to 17, and this is the area right there that's moving just north of the Edisto River now. So it's kind of almost moving right along the Edisto River. So if you're up in this area, that's why that warning has been issued for you folks, and it's been extended up here a little bit further. So we're looking at that pretty carefully.
And we can go ahead and bring up the potential debris. This is our correlation coefficient that helps us show if we could see possibly any debris and possibly a little bit of a signature.
Some down in here.
But we're not seeing too much on there, so that is good. But keep in mind, radar indicated rotation, that is enough to make you go ahead and get into that safe spot. So once again, Colleton, Dorchester counties, we have 2 tornado warnings going on right now. This first polygon here, that is until 5:45. That's when we've been tracking out. That's for Colleton County. So we have 2 cells producing areas of rotation, and we also have the second one here, that one now including Charleston and Dorchester and Colleton County. So we'll go ahead and go back to our velocity product right now. That helps show us exactly where we're seeing that couplet. So we'll go ahead and zoom on into our monitor here and show you where we are seeing. Actually, it does look a little bit tighter right now.
Actually, yeah, it looks like it's
a little bit tighter.
It's tightened up a little bit. So again, you don't want to take these things. You don't want to take these things lightly. That one area could spin up.
Lower Charleston County right now, just north of Pon.
Even on EF0, EF1, you're talking about 80, 90 mile an hour winds plus. So remember what happened up in Monk's Corner, up that way in April with those storms. They can come by very quickly and be rain wrapped and cause a lot of damage. So that's why you want to have the tornado precautions in place right now. Stay at the lowest level of your house, away from windows, certainly indoors. Again, and I don't know if you can pop me back up on as we. There you go. As we track that, this area right there is the rotating area that we're watching. Again, that's kind of showing us where the storm is, where the rotation is, and where it's going, moving northeast at about 15 miles an hour. And say again?
Gettysville should be in their safe.
Yeah, Gettysville definitely being in your safe spot. In Gettysville, really anywhere in the path of this cone right there, all along the Edisto River, those are the areas again that you need to be in that safe spot, because again, that's why that warning has been extended all the way back up into central Dorchester County, also back over to western Charleston County. Again, that goes until 6:15 this evening, and sometimes the lifespan of tornadic cells can come and go. In other words, it could be spinning up a tornado now, and then it's not coming all the way down to the ground. We watch the radar for the continue to cause some damage all the way to the ground. So the lifespan of these, they can skip along, I guess, as it were. We had that one big one back down in April that moved through Walterboro, and then it moved all the way on up into say past Goose Creek and Monk's Corner. But it was not on the ground the whole time. But they can touch down, and then they can lift back up in depending on friction and a bunch of other things as far as the support, the upper air support for the storm, and what's going on with the inflow of the storm itself. Again, and you can see just on the other side of 17, that area right there is the rotation. It looks like it might have tightened up a little bit.
Yeah, I think it did, and we'll go ahead and pull up the rainfall rates as well once again. And once again, this helps show that kind of that core of the storm and where we're seeing the most intense rainfall, possibly some hail. So this helps kind of indicate, and like Bill, you said, that split in the road right there, 17 and 64. That's where we're seeing some of the most intense rainfall right now.
And that's right where the gas station is down there, and that extends now as the couplet, or the actual rotation now is extending up toward and pushing almost right along the Edisto River. So if you are up that way, again, you need to be in your safe place as we watch that pretty carefully. Let's go ahead and show that. There's that warning area once again. We'll kind of zoom on out, and you can see.
So we have two tornado warnings right now, one for Colleton County. The other also includes Colleton, Dorchester, and Charleston County. So this is lower Charleston County. If you live in the Pon area, Gettysville, that's part of this warning right now. That goes until 6:15.
And once again, if you want to pull up the velocity product here, we can take another look at where that is. It looks like it's tightened up just a little bit right here. We'll zoom in here just a little bit. There's the 17 marker. Looks like right about there. That's kind of what we are looking at right here, showing the rotating part of the storm. We are looking at the storm moving. It's not moving that fast. It's only around 15. It was actually 10 miles an hour earlier. Now it's 15 miles an hour, Danielle. And again, folks need, if you want to go ahead and plot that out, folks need to be on the lookout for that along those areas.
So once again, the area that we were watching earlier did look to tighten up just a bit. This is just north of the Pon area. Once again, this is for a tornado warning that does go until 6:15 this evening. So we'll go ahead and plot this out for you. It is moving off to the northeast, right around 15 miles per hour. So we'll go ahead and plot that out here. Once again, this is Colleton, Dorchester, Charleston counties off to the northeast, 15 miles per hour. So arrival time right around 6:09 for Gettysville, 6:31 for Coachman's Corner, right around 6:40 for Givhan. So you should be in your safe space. Once again, this is that polygon showing where we are seeing some of those tornado warnings right now. So once again, this does include parts of Charleston, Dorchester, as well as Colleton County. So this does go until 6:15 this evening. And Bill, I'll go ahead and bring up the velocity product for you so you can go ahead and track out where that couplet is right now. So earlier it was looking a bit tighter.
Yeah, it was a little tighter. In fact, if you want to zoom out just a little bit, maybe put this into motion, you can see the history of this thing. Again, you can see there it is right there, and as it's really just kind of in a fast mode right here, but it is just very, very quickly, well, it's about 15 miles an hour, moving off to the northeast. Again, that area right there is the area that could be the rotation. Well, it is the rotation. It could be the tornado, whether it's on the ground or not. Hard to tell by radar. We have to look at a couple of tilt levels and looking as low as you can to see where that rotation is and how fast it is. But it is moving northeast at about 15 miles an hour. So again, that's why you want to be very, very cognizant of the storm, especially in Givhan's. If you're up that way, if you're up, we were talking about Beck's Landing a little while ago, that right there, and all the way back on up in toward Lowndes Landing, and right along and just to the right, almost just to the south or west of the Edisto River, these areas right there, and that's where we're also seeing a tremendous amount of lightning and rain right now with some pretty high rainfall rates. Back to the velocity, and again, there it is. As you take a look at it, you can see that right there, that area right there, is the couplet that does show where the rotating storm is, the inbound-outbound winds, and again, they're pushing toward the northeast. That's why that warning was extended to parts of Dorchester County and Charleston County. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer in as far as some of the streets out ahead of that, and we'll just go a little bit further to the north and just see, there's not a lot of, there's a lot of rural areas out here in this part of the low country. Clubhouse Crossroads, though, all the way back down toward Gettysville, you should be in your safe place right now, as well as Coachman's Corner, all the way down 17. This is 17A right there, just on the other side of Gettysville, Clubhouse Crossroads, and this is 165 right out here. Again, from say Delmar Crossroads, Legend Oaks is over there, but this is County Line Road. So as you look from County Line Road to the south and west, a lot of these areas right here are still in that warning area. As you see, we'll zoom out just a bit. And there it is. So County Line Road is right back up in here. Here's the couplet right here. So again, you should be in your safe place, especially if you live in a mobile home. You need to be very, very. Either you can leave the mobile home or stay in the bottom closest away from any kind of windows, or find a safer area. But again, this area, looking for the debris, our coalition coefficient, which really just takes a look at the returns and tells us whether it's a hydrometeor, in other words, whether it's a water-based return on the radar, or it's maybe not, or maybe it could be some kind of piece of debris that we can pick up on the radar. It can now tell the difference between whether it's rain or whether it's actual debris. That's what we use correlation coefficient for. And you know, it's really kind of done a great thing for the tornadoes out west because you can see debris balls and whatnot. But this one right here is not that type of storm. It's more of a rain-wrapped almost type of storm that's continuing to push off to the northeast. These are the latest numbers on it as it pushes at about 15 miles an hour, 638 Coachman's Corners, 616 in Gettysville. So in these areas right there, again, as you look at where you are on the map, that's 165 right there. This is 17A. Again, coming out of Somerville, so you folks need to be, you know, taking cover for the storm right there. That's looks like there's a second, almost another rotation down there, but it's if you want to take a look right there, we're looking at this one right there was the one that prompted this tornado warning just a little while ago. As you zoom out here just a little bit, I don't know if you want to put in the warning area. Just it's rather large, but it looks like it's just been
like the other one was
revised
dropped.
just a little bit. So let's go ahead and kind of zoom out a little bit. There's the polygon right now. So again, that's the current warning. That's part of, say, Charleston, Colleton, and Dorchester counties. Kind of like the corner of the three counties right there until 6:15. Again, because the storm is moving pretty much in this direction toward the northeast at about 15 miles an hour. So again, up in Delmar Crossroads, down County Line Road, 165, back over toward Gettysville. Those areas right now in the path of this, what could be a tornado. Certainly it is a rotating storm. It's a rotating thunderstorm. Rain-wrapped tornado could be very easily found in that. When we look at that kind of velocity product, it does show us if the couplet is tightening up a little bit. It looks like it has a little bit right there.
Right there.
Yep. Looks like
Lowndes
it has.
Landing, be in your safe zone right now.
Yep, and Clubhouse
Delmar
Crossroads.
Crossroads.
Yep, you folks need to be in your safe places right there. There it is. You can see just on the other side of Lowndes Landing, northeast at about 15 miles an hour. So it's not racing in speed, but it can certainly cause a lot of damage over a short amount of time, as we've seen in the past with these storms that move through the area. And again, whether or not it stays on the ground, it's just tough to tell. There's a lot of rainfall with this. The rainfall rates are pretty high. Look at those rainfall rates, Danielle.
Yeah, Bill, right now the rain coming down very quickly, which means if you're a part of this warning, do not go outside to look at this. This most likely will be rain wrapped. Make sure you are in your safe zone right now. We're going to go ahead and check out where these warnings are right now. Once again, one has been dropped, but we do have Lower Charleston County, Colleton County, Dorchester counties. You are part of this tornado warning. So keep this in mind. This is right along the edge of these three counties. Charleston, Dorchester counties, you're part of this until 6:15. So make sure you are in your safe spot for Clubhouse Crossroads, Delmar Crossroads. Make sure you get to the most interior room in your home, lowest level, as we continue to track out rotation. So this was, it is a powerful thunderstorm that does have rotation within it. So we're continuing to monitor the velocity on this storm, which it did look like it tightened up earlier. And we're going to continue to watch this as we head through the next, this goes until 6:15. So make sure you are in your safe zone. We'll continue to track this out for you. But a strong thunderstorm, plenty of lightning associated with it, Bill. Like we were talking, a lot of rain. Likely a rain-wrapped storm.
Yeah, rain-wrapped storm. Kennedy's Landing, again, looks like the motion now is at about 10 miles an hour as we go back and look at some of the numbers on it. And again, 10 miles an hour is not fast, actually, for a tornado. The ones in April were moving at 50 to 60 miles an hour, actually, the actual motion of the vortex or the tornado. So, again, there is the couplet right there, and it looks like it's holding together. Right there, it is, again, it could be rain wrapped. It may or may not be making it to the ground, but the motion now is at 10 miles an hour to the northeast. So again, if you are in these areas, in particular Gettysville at 638, be on the lookout for that.
Lowndes Landing out ahead of it too. You should be in your safe space right now.
Yep, indeed, and all the way back on into central Dorchester County, that Givans, you folks up there, be on the lookout for this this storm. Also back up into just on the other side of Somerville, and it looks like it's going to head up that way towards 17A, not far from 61. That's sort of in the path of it, right there. There's 61 as you make your way back that way, just on the other side of the warning area. So whether it'll be extended up towards 61 just depends on if this thing stays together or not. Really, what we're watching is just how tight that vortex is, or that couplet is that we look at on the velocity. In fact, if we're going to pull that up real quick, that warning there until 6:15. But again, there it is. As we let's zoom on out here just a little bit. There it is. Right, looks like it's right here. Again, there might be actually a second rotation, but it looks like it's kind of right in this area right there. As you look at the inbound outbound winds, again coming together there and pushing to the northeast at about 10 miles an hour. So that's why we're on the air. We stay on the air when there are tornado warnings, because the damage can be done fast and it can be done extensive. So again, with even an EF0 tornado can do an awful lot of damage. Not particularly EF1 or 2, certainly, but again, as you look at this this arrival time right here, at about 6:40 at Clubhouse Crossroads. Again, these are all, these are kind of points in time. So really, anybody in the direction of this storm should be in your safe spot and be ready as we continue to fine tune this. Zooming out just a little bit, let's see. Well, it might have loosened a little bit. It's right there. It's not as tight as it was. It's still showing, though, a bit of a couplet. So again, as we kind of see that push on into this area right there in the parts of Dorchester County, you need to be on the lookout. Elsewhere, there's a lot of rain. There's a moderate to heavy rainfall. In fact, if you want to pull up the rainfall rate, the rainfall itself, that's the rainfall rate. And again, there's a lot of heavy rain now. If you are down in some of these areas right here, that includes almost 3.5 inches per hour type of heavy tropical rains. And these have coming in off the ocean. They've been coming in off the ocean all the last couple of days. And the storm Marco is well off to our west, but again, the broad circulation is well to our west. But again, sometimes when we get these kind of waves of thunderstorms that come in off the ocean, they can show water spouts offshore, and rotation can certainly occur with these. But this right here, that's Cross County Road right there. There's the couplet, and you can just see how much rain that we have with that. And there's quite a bit of lightning and thunder again with that as well. There's that rainfall. And if you zoom out just a little bit, Danielle, again, from Pond all the way back on up, and that extends all the way up to 17A between Cottageville and just on the other side of 61. That's where this cell is that's moving, and this is the warning area right there. That does not include 61, by the way, Dorchester Estates or any of that right now at this point. But it does, on the other side of that, include Delmar Crossroads, 165, all the way back from say County Line Road. And that goes all the way down to Warren Crossroads, and there's County Line right there. So if you're along County Line Road, a lot of folks live along County Line Road. That's you're definitely in that warning area. And as we kind of zoom out here just a little bit, there's what's appearing right there to be the rotation of the storm itself, the couplet itself. And again, if you look at it, that right there would be the rotation of the storm, and that's moving to the northeast at about 10 miles an hour. And sometimes it tightens up, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it loosens up, just depending on the storm, on the inflow of the storm itself. And again, as you look at the inbound and outbound winds, the closer the more tight that we look at that couplet, the stronger the tornado would be. And again, it does show it's a broad circulation and it is moving northeast at about, say, 10 miles an hour. Again, the reason we keep tracking this over and over because it continues to change in time. So again, we'll just kind of watch that over the next half hour or so. But and whether it dissipates or not, it can certainly. It's running into maybe somewhat more stable air. Depends, but this air is pretty unstable right here, and there's not out of the question that could certainly dissipate. As you zoom on out, let's see what else is out there on the reflectivity. There you go. Again, there's Goose Creek here, Somerville. We're not seeing. I don't think we're seeing any more rotating storms at this point. In fact, if we can, there it is. All the way back down to Sheldon, still quite a bit of rainfall down that way. But coming in off the ocean, we're not seeing any more rotations. But this one right there is what we're looking at. That's the one that has the rain-wrapped tornado and the couplet that we're watching that was pushing northeast. And you see how it just updated? So it just updated, so it's not as tight a circulation, but it does show us that there could be a tornado associated right there. And the safety, mechanisms in place, you always want to definitely be in your safe spot. Danielle?
Yeah, once again, so this tornado warning is continuing. It goes until 6:15 this evening. So just over 15 minutes left for this tornado warning, but it doesn't mean it won't be extended. We are still seeing rotation on radar. So keep in mind, once again, until 6:15, this does now include Charleston and Dorchester County. So we are continuing to watch.
Yeah, Western Charleston County, not the metro at all, but southwestern Charleston County.
So we're continuing to watch velocity. We'll go ahead and bring up the velocity product bill. And you can still see that rotation here on radar. And this is so important because this physically shows you where we are seeing that rotation. So very important if you live in Lowndes Landing, Delmore Crossroads. Make sure that you are in your safe space right now. We'll go ahead and bring up the rainfall rates as well. This also helps show us exactly where we are seeing the strongest part of this storm. Still plenty of lightning. Do not head outside to see if there's a tornado. This should be good enough. We're seeing rotation on radar, so this is important to make sure you're in your safe zones. Once again, as Bill mentioned, Western Charleston County, make sure you are in that safe space right now. We'll go ahead and bring up velocity again so you can physically see where we are seeing this rotation. So it's still a strong storm, still producing that rotation here.
Yeah, there's the rotation there. This is the area right there in question. Again, as we circle that, that's the area rotating. Again, it may be coming down to the surface. It may not. It's definitely could be a rain wrap situation. But that's the center that's pushing off to the northeast, which we are tracking as far as where it's going next. So if you're in Delmar Crossroads, Clubhouse Crossroads,
anywhere along Highway 165, make sure that you're in your safe space right now.
And that includes, County Line Road, where it meets 165, on the other side of 165 on County Line Road, right there. Again, be very, very cautious. Be in that safe place. That's Parker's Ferry Road, almost right there. And again, just on the other side of Parker's Ferry Road, it looks like it's tightened a little bit here.
Yeah.
Again. All right.
Noticing that.
If you
we'll go over the
if you
next
watch
half
right
hour.
there. Right there,
in
that last frame.
Right along 165. This is far western Charleston County. Make sure you're in that safe space. Dorchester County, all along those areas, all the Clubhouse Crossroads, Delmore Crossroads. We'll go ahead and track this out. So off to the northeast, right at 10 miles per hour. So Clubhouse Crossroads, arrival time 6:50. So make sure you're in your safe zone right now. Right along Delmore Crossroads, Lowndes Landing. Make sure you're in that safe space right now, just along Highway 165, because we're still seeing that couplet, Bill, on our velocity product right now.
And there it is right there. You can see it's tightened up a little bit, so it is showing us there's definitely rotation within this cell, and it's moving at about 10 miles an hour right here. And again, this is where we could see some damage. As we, I don't know if you guys want to put the generator on.
Yeah, it's dark in the newsroom.
Yeah, we might be on generator right now. We've heard a little bit of a power bump, a couple of power bumps. But again, there's what could be the center of the system, what is the couplet of the tornadic cell, and that does show us where the tornado would be and exactly where it is. Whether it's coming to the ground or not, we can't tell unless somebody's on the ground. But again, you can see the pushing to the northeast at about 10 miles per hour. So that's again something to be on the watch for here in the next 15, 20 minutes. This warning, by the way, expires at about 6:15, right, Danielle?
Yes, that's right, Bill, 6:15.
Take a look at that warning area.
So we'll go ahead and pull up this warning once again. This is 6:15 for far western Charleston County, Dorchester counties. You're part of this tornado warning. So once again, we have spotted that impressive thunderstorm, dangerous thunderstorm, producing that rotation within that cell, which means that it is capable of producing a tornado. So there is rotation. We'll go ahead and bring up our velocity product once again. This does a great job of showing where the winds are flowing towards the radar, where they're flowing away from the radar, and we can still see that couplet here on our radar right now.
Yeah, it looks like it was tightening up and then it loosened up. It looked like it tightened up again. Again, the lifespan of some of these little small vortices, that sometimes they make it to the ground, sometimes they don't. But it does show us there's definitely a rotation right there. And again, you can see it looks like it has tightened up just a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'll zoom out here just a little bit. One thing I wanted to try real quick. I'm not sure whether it's. Let me go ahead and pull up the storm tracks. Sometimes the
They
our
update.
overlay can overlay the see, that's an early. So sometimes they can overlay TVS, which is a tornado vortex signature, which we look for, but it doesn't look like it's showing that obviously if you look at the storm tracks, it does show the rotation with the storm. I'll zoom out just a little bit. Again, as you look at this area right here, we're looking at a bit of a rotation. Although it was a little tighter, then it loosened up, then which is very typical of this type of storm. They have a lifespan. But if I put in the storm tracks, it does show there's rotation in the storm. It's showing early rotation. Again, that might be out ahead of it. So sometimes that algorithm is it's picking up the entire storm versus that one area, which is like right there. That's what we're continuing to watch. So bottom line is we zoom out here just a little bit. Again, if you want to track that, let's go back to the radar. I'm sorry. Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're just kind of talking as we're kind of going into looking at this. There's just a ton of rain, quite a bit of lightning as you take a look right there. And again, as you look at that velocity, it's not the most impressive couplet I've seen, but it does show.
Yep, it's certainly enough to make sure that you're in that safe space if you live along Highway 165. This is far lower western Charleston County. Make sure you're in that safe space right now. So we'll go ahead and show you this area. We'll go ahead and circle this out for you so you can physically see exactly where we are seeing this rotation. So north of Highway 61,
right there
in Charleston County, and it is moving off to the north and east right at 15 miles per hour. So make sure you're in that safe space. Right now, we'll go ahead and zoom on in so you can see these
areas. There's 165 right here. This is County Line Road. Again, if you are along County Line roads, you need to definitely be in that safe space, as well as 165. And again, it looks like a bunch of green to everybody, but what we're looking for is a rotation. In other words, where we're seeing inbound, outbound winds coming together, creating a rotation, and that's kind of what we're looking at here for the couplet here that was moving just on the other side of 17 now, to the north at about 10 miles an hour. Again, a lot of rain.
You can still see lots of rain here, lots of lightning. This is still a very strong thunderstorm, so don't head outside to check this out. Once again, if you live along 165, Delmore Crossroads, County Line Road, if you know anybody who lives along that road, give them a call. Make sure that they are in their safe space once again. So we'll go ahead and bring up the velocity product, Bill, so you can see exactly where we're seeing this couplet. Still, as Bill mentioned, not an impressive couplet, but it's enough. It's producing that rotation, so you can't rule out the possibility of there being a tornado in that area. So we'll go ahead and circle that for you right here so you can see where we are seeing that couplet right now. So once again, Delmore Crossroads, far lower Charleston County. Make sure you're in that safe space right now. So we'll also go ahead and pull up radar so you can see where we are seeing plenty of lightning with this right now, just south of Delmore Crossroads. A lot of rain as well. When we started tracking this earlier, that area of circulation was just north of the Pond area, but it is moving off to the northeast right around 15 miles per hour. So Clubhouse Crossroads, Delmore Crossroads, anywhere along Highway 165 back into Dorchester and Colleton counties, you should be in that safe space right now. And if, Bill, you want to talk about the heights of this storm, still an impressive storm.
Yeah, I wanted to pull this up with our exclusive 3D because it kind of shows you the heights, but also sometimes you can see the inflow of the storm where a tornado would be forming, as well as the outflow of the storm. And again, this is 30,000 feet. These lines are the height levels. That's 20,000, 10,000 above the surface. And clearly you can see that updraft is up to and just exceeding 30,000 feet. This is the one that's creating the tornado warning right now, that one cell. So there's quite a bit of energy being pulled up into the storm, and as a rotating storm, one has to be very, very careful as we watch it develop and move. But I just kind of wanted to show you that in 3D because it does show us with this couplet that's right there. It does show that even at the lower levels, if we're getting that kind of rotation all the way to the ground, that's why that warning was issued. The warning, by the way, goes until 6:15. Again, as we take a look at the motion of this thing, it's moving at about 15 miles an hour. And it looks like it's we're almost, there's Delmar Crossroads, and
Doesn't look as tight.
right, it doesn't look as tight right now. And in fact, it looks a little bit dispersed, as a matter of fact. But as you look at 165,
Yeah, Delmar Crossroads.
Delmar Crossroads
right along
right
that
there.
area. You should be in your safe space. This does go until 6:15, so we'll see what the National Weather Service decides to do at that 6:15 mark. But still noticing a bit of some weaker rotation right now, but still rotation. Once again, lower Charleston County, that's where we're seeing this right now. So I'll go ahead and stop this, and we'll track this out for you, Bill.
yeah, this could have been that early rotation on the algorithm that we pulled up, the automatic algorithm.
Yep, that one was
that
just
looks at that.
Yep.
I just looked a little while ago to see if there's any debris. We checked the correlation coefficient, which looks at debris, whether it's a hydrometeor, in other words, a piece of water, a piece of, if it's actual rain that the radar is bouncing off, or it could be, things like debris, things like, wood or whatnot that's being lifted up into the air. And right now, we're not seeing an awful lot of debris out there at this time. But again, for the most part, a lot of rain and certainly a lot of lightning with this. As you look at and we zoom on out, it looks like we're looking at almost 2 areas of rotation. And it's not out of the question to have one main area of rotation, and then you might see secondary rotations rotating around that as you take a look at the actual radar. And again, you can just see that this area right there, between here and there, both of these are showing pretty much a nice, at least a tighter rotation that we had, and then it just has loosened up just a little bit, both here and here. So again, within these, even if it's a rain-wrapped storm, you can't see it sometimes because of the rain coming in the rain shaft. Can certainly cause damage. Even if it's an EF0, it can cause quite a bit of damage.
And it looks like we just had a new scan come in as well. So once again, right along Highway 165, areas just north of Ravenel, Delmar Crossroads. Make sure you're in that safe space. We'll go ahead and zoom on into this area a bit closer. So if you live right along Warren Crossroads, State Road 165, Delmar Crossroads, County Line Road. If you know anybody out here, if you have any friends, make sure you give them a call. Let them know about this tornado warning. We'll go ahead and go back to this warning that is in place here. So right now it is 6:06 on a Monday evening, and this goes until 6:15 tonight. So once again, Charleston, Dorchester counties, you are a part of this tornado warning.
Yeah, and then I was just looking at the Weather Service, some of the Weather Service chat. Again, they're talking about, the motion was 10 miles an hour, 15, and now it's showing up to 25 miles an hour. So again, we might be seeing the actual storm speed up a little bit as far as the forward motion. And again, there could be multiple vortexes in this thing as you look at it, because right now, as you look at the velocity product, we've got this couplet right down here. And then it looks like we have a secondary up here to the northeast of that. And again, if you're looking at the motion of these, they could be relatively quick at about, depending at 25 miles an hour. It can certainly pick up that kind of speed and see some low-level debris or low-level damage with something like that. That's why we continue to kind of track that as we watch this warning now that goes until 6:15.
So
we're
8
at 6:07 right now. This, by the way, is 165, and it's kind of a broad. It's almost like the circulation almost looks like it's broadened out a little bit. But this one couplet right there, it has been something we've been watching, and it looks like there might be a secondary just to the northeast of that rotation. And as we zoom out just a little bit, you can just see that again. If you're in Gettysville, if you're down along 165. All the way back, even up toward 61. You're not in the warning area right now. Now, whether that's going to be extended or not, I'm sure the Weather Service is calculating that right now. But that's both of these areas right here, in particular this one, is the area that we're watching as far as rotation.
Moving more quickly now, so off to the northeast, right at 25 miles per hour. So make sure you're in your safe space. Once again, we keep talking about Delmore Crossroads. Make sure you're in that safe spot. So it's moving faster now, so those arrival times a bit sooner, possibly 6:18 for Delmore Crossroads. But really what we're watching now, Bill, is the National Weather Center, if they're going to go ahead and continue this tornado warning. So once again, it does go until 6:15. So we'll go ahead and bring up this time and
That's this whole
who's
area right
included in this. So once again, 6:15 for Charleston and Dorchester County. So this is far western Charleston County, right along the Dorchester County line. We'll go ahead and zoom on into some of these areas. We keep talking about 165
That's right
County
here.
Line Road, Clubhouse Road. So we'll go ahead and pull up some of the velocities on this as well to see what it's doing here. And we're still noticing a bit of a couplet right
Yep,
there.
There's one right here, and it looks like there could be a secondary. Trying to rotate right there. This is not as tight right now. And again, on some of the other tilts, it could be seen maybe a little bit more defined at the lower levels versus the mid levels. So that's if you want to go back to the rainfall again. Within this area right there, the rainfall rates have been very impressive, up to 3.5 inches per hour. That's like the tropical rainfall that we get with major tropical systems.
And that's what we're seeing. We have a tropical system that we've been tracking, and that's why we've seen just all this rainfall, Bill, over the last 24 hours. Just so much deep tropical moisture across the southeast, and those high dew points. That's what you're looking for. An afternoon thunderstorm. Put those ingredients together, and this is what you get. You can see it right here on radar right now. A lot of very heavy rainfall.
And you get a lot of intersecting boundaries. The actual storm Marco is well out to our west, but what we have a lot of times is you've got the fetch of that moisture is being pulled up and that happened with Irma back in when we had Irma. We had all that heavy rain. We had a bunch of tornadoes with that came on shore. Now Marco is much further west than Irma, but that moisture fetch continues to be pulled across the south, and to have good, typical thinking of us tornadoes is north and east of the center of a tropical cyclone. We are well off to the east, but sometimes you have these intersecting boundaries with this, like you've got this couplet right here, that's coming in, that's intersecting, that might have intersected with a sea breeze or an outflow boundary sometimes, and they can cause a spin up that can create a tornado. That's why the warning was issued. When you start to look at, I saw actually on some of the rain showers yesterday, the early yesterday morning, some of the heavy ones, there was some rotation off the coast that we were watching on the radar. It did not move on shore, but again, right there, that's the current couplet right there, and that extends just on the other side of 165, and again, that's pushing northeast. Now at about 25 miles an hour, I guess, was up to 25 miles an hour. So it just depends on the speed and also where the center of this couplet is, and then you track it from there. So that's why if you're along 165, if you're along Cross County Road, all the way back, even 61, you're not in the warning area right now, but that's 20 to 25 miles an hour. So that puts it just on the other side of Somerville, by say 7:02, if it stays together. Knightsville at about 6:57.
Some of these places aren't part of the current warning right now. However, what we're watching for is to see if this couplet sticks together and exactly where it's headed next. So once again, if you live right along State Road 165, if you're in Delmore Crossroads, make sure you're in that safe space. The couplet is not looking as tight as what we saw earlier. However, this is still an impressive thunderstorm that we're going to have to continue to track out.
Yeah, and they just expired that tornado warning. So the tornado warning will expire here in about 2 or 3 minutes. The storm has weakened a bit. Again, as we watch this, it's more of a, the couplet's not very tight, but there's still a ton of rain with this thing. So we're going to continue to monitor this. There's 61 right there. Again, this is 165. There's a lot of rain right there. It continues to move to the north and east. With the tornado warning now expiring, it doesn't mean that it can't spin up another a vortex or another tornado. Again, as you look at this, what we're going to be tracking will be this couplet in particular, right down in here, as it works its way through Dorchester County. But again, that warning area, which was issued just a little while ago, that now has expired. Will expire in about 2 minutes, and they will not. They're not going to reissue that at this moment. But again, we're going to watch the radar over the next little while, over the next 45, 50 minutes, as it continues to push to the north and east at about 15 to 20 miles an hour. Some of that, like I said just a little while ago, we were tracking at 25 miles an hour. So the speed can vary on these things for sure. But again, that's still showing a bit of a rotation there, but looks like they're going to expire that tornado warning right here. In fact, if you want to show the warning area, this is the warning area that
This is what we're waiting for.
that what we just issued. And again, that includes parts of central Dorchester County all the way into western Charleston County. And again, especially along 165, you should still stay in your safe place. You should still monitor this thing, particularly if you're up in central Dorchester County, Somerville, Ridgeville, Jedburgh. Just going to be on the weather watch over the next hour or so. We'll give you the first alert as we continue to track this thing. And once this warning expires here in a minute or two, we'll continue to track it. But there's still a whole bunch of rain with that as well. This is 165. This is heavy rainfall right here. Some of the rates 3.5 inches or so per hour as you look at that. Plus, there's quite a bit of lightning down there as well from, say, Warren Crossroads all the way back down and south. So again, you can just see this purple area indicates an awful lot. It could be 4+ inches of rain per hour. That means heavy tropical rain showers. Again, that's 3.5 right there. So again, it does show you that there's a tremendous amount of rain falling there. We've had a lot of rain already. And you add a tornado to that, which could spin up and even an EF0, and that could do a lot of damage to trees, certainly some roof damage. Of course, it could even damage homes and whatnot. So let's pull up that warning and see.